When the center disappears, it feels like everything is a source.
Questo è radio, ko je ovaj?
Do you notice like how much ego is in somebody that you're recording?
The thing is though, I don't see ego in people. Only ego sees ego.
That's so interesting.
Look up this game called Life is Strange, True Colors. See, I manifested this. It's like the only video game I ever finished in my life. That's why I say it looks so familiar. It's based on this place.
So I played this game twice. First time by myself, and then the second time with my last ex.
And you know my dad's company is called Rocky Mountain.
Really?
Something, yeah. Like Rocky, this is like where the Rockies.
It's one of those games where you kind of simulate your own karma. You know, every choice that you make leads to a different outcome for the character. So my ending was that I left a small town in Colorado, and then I traveled the world and played music.
Her ending was that she stayed behind with another girl. That's why I went back to the States.
And one of the last things she said was, I watched you transform from a caterpillar to a butterfly, but I can't keep you in a cage anymore. And when I go from city to city, it doesn't feel like I'm physically moving from this to that world. It feels more like I'm an entirety of this infinite virtual reality that's simulating itself and simultaneously shapeshifting and remaining completely still.
So wherever you go, the place rises out of thin air only upon perception. The moment you're not perceiving it, it ceases to exist, because even consciousness itself is part of this arising and passing away. That's all happening on its own. Apart from this empty luminosity, there's no world, no mind, no bodies, neither self nor others. And there's nothing apart from this that can observe or know that. You know, before I went through a phase where like I was hooking up with different girls.
Yeah.
Like now it feels like it's a city.
You're hooking up with different cities.
Yeah, now it feels like that. It's like now I expended the consciousness from like just the contracted like a vagina to like the entire city.
So maybe we can extrapolate this.
Hi, do you mind if I take a picture of you? Sure. You look so interesting. Where are you from? When I make a video out of a place, it feels like I'm sculpting with space and time by creating a multi-dimensional model of reality where the divine and the personal are perfectly encapsulated within each other. There's zero distance between anything, so me, the camera, the subject, and the whole of the universe is rising through this one unified process. Everything is creating everything else while creating itself, erasing the duality between inside and outside, mind and reality. Now, when you watch this, you're not watching an experience created by somebody else in another time or space. You're constructing what you're perceiving now as much as it's creating you. And since linear time is an illusion and everything's happening simultaneously, the only reason I filmed this scene right here is because you're watching it right now. And everything is just looping to each other endlessly.
I wonder if there's still meaning. Should I say goodbye? Take me back to when things were easier. Take me back to a place that feels like home. When was that?
I met the love of my life 20 years ago, and I loved her immediately, have loved her since then. But she met someone else and broke my heart and married them and moved to Colorado. But I never forgot her and carried her like a prayer in my mouth for 20 years. And 6 months ago, she just shows up on my doorstep.
Wow.
And said, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And that part of you that has been waiting for her for 20 years can only give one answer. The answer was yes. We went on 3 more walks after that, and she asked me if I wanted to marry her. And we got married 3 months ago now.
October?
Yeah, October 15th. Yeah.
So during those 20 years, have you been with anybody else? I'm sure you.
Well,
with other people.
I have. But never in love in the same way that I loved her.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's like in the deepest region of your heart.
Yeah, when your heart is occupied, your heart is occupied.
He's wise. He's a wise boy. He's a wise boy. Super sensitive. Yep, you can just scratch her and and go give some loving to Dice.
Like Shijanya is actually working with like neuroscientists from like I don't know what school, but it's like a university. They're trying to create like a cap so it can zap your way to awakening. I think it's possible. We can just,
Really?
yeah, but then the thing is though, even
integration.
Yeah, it's zero integration, exactly. Even if you can get someone like woke like that,
Yeah.
it would take them just as much time to integrate it as it takes them to awaken. Maybe even more.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
necessary to have the entire. The
Yeah,
full
it's
path.
you have to have the full. So like I don't know if it's gonna work, but if it does work, that integration. But then like Michael Taft said, he's not interested in the awakening button as much as the integration button. But then if the integration has a button, then it's not integration anymore, because you have to live through it,
Interesting.
right?
Interesting.
The thing is, though, the whole path is about constructing and deconstructing.
Yeah.
It's almost like cycle of this. If you don't construct an ego first, there's nothing to deconstruct, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's almost like it's necessary. It's almost like this thing you can't just push it.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gracia plena, Ave Dominum tecum.
I think this is one of the most fascinating stories I've ever heard. So you're 65 years old, you never held a girl's hand, never kissed a woman. And you're completely okay with it.
And I'm completely okay with it.
Wow.
This
is like an inspiration for a lot of people that do NoFap. 99% of the movies and music is about like finding like the other half.
Yeah.
And you've been pretty much single your whole life, and you're completely happy.
I had planned to be married by the time I was 21. I'd been thinking about it since I was 14, and 21 didn't happen. 22, 23, 24, 25, I gave up. So many of the women I met that I thought would be eligible, and they were filled with trauma. And I could just see that. The main thing I wanted from a relationship, too, was to be a father.
And now you adopted like 10 kids.
Having grown up without a father, not even know who he is, somehow or another, I managed to have sons who have become great husbands and great fathers.
A lot of women are attracted to you now,
Right.
Because you're trauma-free. You don't have any baggage.
I think maybe they perceive that, but they come with baggage. They've been messed over by men or before that, or the one they no longer with, and they're not free of what happened to them.
I think a lot of people, they jump from relationship to relationship because they haven't healed. So they're trying to use the next relationship to heal the traumas of their previous relationship. But then they just get into the same traumas and the same dramas. And then that further confirmed the traumas that are created that shape their identity. And they become even more and more traumatized. So the reason why a lot of women are attracted to you is because you don't have that trauma. You're pure. You don't need anything. You don't need anyone. You're okay being completely alone. They feel that they can heal their traumas through you, which is like an open space for them.
treat me like they used to since I laid my burden down. I'm going home to live with Jesus since I laid my burden down. I'm going home to live with Jesus since I laid my burden down. Burden down, Lord. Burden down, Lord. Since I laid my burden down. Hallelujah. I feel better. So much better since I laid my burden down. Friends don't treat me like they used to since I laid my burden down. Friends don't treat me like they used to since I laid my burden down. I'm going home to live with Jesus since I laid my burden down. I'm going home to live with Jesus since I laid my burden down.
So pretty.
Speaking of palettes, I feel like the universe is just giving me different palettes to like paint. Like I was in Cambodia, and then I went to Miami, right? That's so different palette, right? And then I went to like New York, and Maryland, New York. So Maryland is like fall, like orange leaves. And then now I'm in Colorado, and I was like, it's all white.
Totally different.
You think the world is still, right? But then you're moving through it. That's like the first stage. The second stage is the world is moving and you're not moving.
That's interesting.
That's
I love that.
It's like a 3-step walking meditation. So like you're walking in the standstill, like you're on a treadmill and the whole wall is walking past you and you're standing still. That's the second stage. The third stage is there's only the world moving itself. So that's when the center disappears. Because if the world is moving and you're not moving, there's still a center. You just transforming
when the center disappears, there's still source. No.
Yeah. When the center disappears, it feels like everything is a source.
When everything is source, then nothing is, transcending the duality between the manifested and the unmanifested.
Say this is the source of consciousness. This is where you're trying to get to, and then this is where you started. So some people go directly to the source, like to the ultimate, to the emptiness, or like absolute, whatever. And then that's the horizontal or the y-axis, and then there's the vertical. No, this is the vertical. There's the horizontal. Yeah. The horizontal is more like your experiences. So basically, it's like the content.
But they'll say that Kundalini is God or is direct.
So people get sidetracked, right? So you start meditating, you go down, and then you have a spiritual experience, and then you get sidetracked. And some people start doing psychedelics, they get sidetracked. They just go this way, and they never go deeper into the source. And some people like the Zen Koan stuff, like the Zen school, they just go straight. Vipassana just go down to the source. Everything you experience like on the path down, for most of it, you are going to experience the things like from the x-axis, like you are going to have some kind of experience, even if it's just a little bit. So it's for most of it, it's a zigzag like now, if you know what you're doing. For some people, it's like boom, they don't have much experience. For some people, they have a little bit of experience, they just go all the way out.
Fuck, that's what I see so much.
Yeah, they just get stuck in that. To me, like those experiences, like it's kind of like the Buddha throwing candies on the path, and you just like pick it up. Okay, we're going the right direction, but then you gotta keep going.
Yes, I've always thought of it as like a flag. It's like good right direction.
Yeah, but don't get don't get stuck in that flag. You gotta keep going. It's just a little
I feel like all my relationships have been that too. It's just like learn, but don't fucking follow them. Like don't go with them.
Interesting.
I definitely felt that. Where it's just like I can feel that every relationship is like starts off and then it becomes like a branch. And I could like get married, do the whole thing.
Me too.
But it's just like can't do it. Gotta stay straight.
Every relationship I could have got married.
Yeah, and it could become a horizontal thing for me at least. It would detour me.
So I'm the same way as you with relationships. It's like every girl that I dated wants to, like, they just want to be with me forever.
Yeah,
and then every time they think like that, I start to contract.
Same.
But then I'm the one that wait for. They always break up with me because
you end up sabotaging the relationship
Yep.
to just continue doing
do what Frank does.
Yeah. Okay, see, that's actually in a way more healthy than what I do.
No, really?
What I do is constrict myself. I narrow myself into their world and try to see if I can make it work for them, and then I end up losing my own like sovereignty. Like it's a weird, like I cooperate with their view instead of just persisting in mine and letting them
I see.
opt in or out. I actually would love to be more how you are in this way, and maybe you want to be more how I am.
Yeah, I
so
think
I'm not sure.
maybe we can balance. But I feel like if you found the right person, this wouldn't be a problem because that person will be the missing piece that gets added on that makes you disappear.
Like the Venn diagrams complete the whole.
It's like when you drop that point, it goes.
Yes,
360.
yes,
Yeah, right?
exactly.
It's like the missing piece.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the missing piece of the puzzle. Once you find that piece, you will complete the 360. Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. So you know what's funny? It's like a reverse of dissolving everything, but it's like adding that one piece so everything can be dissolved.
Yes.
So it's both the expansion and the contraction.
Yes.
Happening simultaneously. You're a neurologist.
That's right. Neurologist.
And you are
Internal
medicine doctor. I saw your bookcase. You have so many books that I used to be fascinated by, about brains, consciousness, like neuroscience, philosophy of the mind, especially. So how many years have you guys been married?
30-ish, 30 plus.
So have you guys never got into a fight?
Never.
No, that would not be very fun.
So the Buddha is like the Michael Jordan of consciousness. So an Arahat would be like the Kobe Bryant of consciousness. I don't know if you heard of Bach Kelly. The first time he had a glimpse into true nature was when he was playing sports. He said that all of a sudden he'll be in the flow and he'll have this perception through the back of his head where he will open up to this panoramic awareness and he'll feel connected to the divine. Everyone can be an athlete of consciousness and access the Buddha mind or Christ consciousness. You know, Christ and Buddha are just dudes who recognize your true nature. You know, one focuses more on love and the other emptiness. But again, they're two sides of the same coin.
So Wittgenstein is an Australian philosopher. He uses language to deconstruct itself until he destroys language. Because he thinks all philosophers are mentally masturbated. Because they're only looking for the truth within the structure of language. So I'm sure he had glimpses of awakening, but I don't think it's like fully there because he doesn't have the tool. I think Osho said if like Wittgenstein and like Mozart or Beethoven or like Einstein, if they were to live in today's world, they will all be enlightened. His book is like this big, it's like 20 pages. And it's just axioms after axioms. So his axioms are like almost like really short sentences, or like it's almost like Koan. So every axiom not only annihilate the previous statement, but annihilates itself. So his goal is to destroy every single philosopher since Plato. Because he thinks they're all like trapping concepts. They're not getting truth. So the last sentence of the Tractatus, this is like my favorite quote ever. What cannot be speak of must be passed over in silence. My book is just a ladder. Once you use the ladder, you have to throw out the ladder. Because you use that ladder to climb.
Is that Buddha?
Buddha said once you use that raft to cross the river,
Right.
you have to throw out the raft.
You don't need it.
Yeah, so he said the same thing. His little book not only destroys the whole history of philosophy, it destroys itself. So after he wrote that book, he retired from philosophy. He became a school teacher.
He's
He's a madman, yeah.